Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Shri Bobde, other very distinguished Honorable Judges of Supreme Court, Attorney General Mr. K. Venugopal, the distinguished President of SCBA, distinguished friend Dushyant Dave, Vice President Kailash Babu, my other distinguished friends, other office bearers, Solicitor General Mr. Tushar Mehta, other law officers, my greetings to all of you. We are indeed meeting during a very challenging time. A virtual celebration of the Constitution Day is perhaps the first, Dushyant, if I recollect correctly. This by itself an indication of the challenging times we are in. A physical interaction has been the norm, but today, digital interaction has become the norm. Yes, as you rightly pointed out, very challenging times. In spite of all these challenges, the center and the state, the civil society all contributed. And I wish to place on record my deep appreciation of the SCBA, led by you and other office bearers, who did a very commendable job in also rising the occasion in lending a helping hand. But in spite of all these challenges, let me today compliment the judiciary as a whole. I would wish to share some statistics. This is as of October 2020. November will come soon. The Supreme Court has heard and disposed of, or in the process of hearing, close to 30,000 cases digitally. The High Courts of India have heard 13.74 lakh cases digitally. And the District Courts of India have heard 35.93 lakhs digitally. This has been the digital profile of hearing of cases. And I was given a very interesting statistic this morning. We have set up 9 virtual courts all over the country to hear traffic violation cases. They have disposed of 31 lakh cases and raised a fine of 123 crores. Therefore, in spite of these challenging times, the digital interaction of justice delivery has been quite satisfactory. I would always admit there is scope for improvement. But today, when we are celebrating the founding day of our Constitution, it is quite appropriate to recall certain very challenging factors existing when our Constitution was enacted. And I take this opportunity to salute our founding fathers, men of extraordinary caliber, foresight, and they were truly statesmen. For my young friends of the bar, I need to remind you, India was partitioned on the ground of religion. Close to 3 to 4 million people have been displaced. More than 1 million have been killed. In spite of these provocative atmosphere, what our founding fathers decided, India will be a democracy. India's polity, India's governance will be through the democratic path. They gave the right of franchise to ordinary Indians. And they trusted the independence of judiciary to really address the concerns and uphold the freedom of individuals. There were people, leaders, who thought for very rightful reasons that India must also become a theocracy, like Pakistan has become. But they said, no, India will be a country where the state will have no religion. But people will, of all faith will have the right to practice their religion freely. Now, when I see the march of India's constitution in the last 70 years, I would like all my friends to remember that all the challenges which could arise anywhere in the world arose in India. And that were And those were from religion to language to caste to community to whatnot. The country was in turmoil during many of these challenges. But there was a judiciary which came with judgments which the entire country accepted, the people accepted, and a constructive way out was found. And therefore, today I always say why the court is important, why the Supreme Court is important. Not only as a beacon of liberty, not only as an institution which has reinforced the nobler instincts of the Constitution, but as an institution which the people of India trust. And this element of trust is integral to a democratic governance. We need to always remember that. Yes, there will be problem. Why not? A country of the size of India. But I've always said rights are important, duties are equally important. And I would say, well, the duty should be also to respect the judiciary. You can criticize the judgment. Why not? That's your right. But this abiding respect for the institution of judiciary is important. And I have always felt, thank you, Dushyant, you rightly reminded me that I still remain in your esteem as a member of SCBA. Though on the lighter vein, I say it is close to 7 years that I haven't worn my black coat. And I miss going to the bar and having a cup of tea and the coffee. But yes, my status as a lawyer would remain an integral part of my being, which I always recollect with a lot of nostalgia and friendship, consideration for all of you. But what is the future? The future, I would tell you, technology we are using, other issues we are using, access to justice is important. Why not? I am not going to burden all of you with what steps we are taking and what steps the judiciary is taking. But what is important is, I have always felt that whenever I go abroad in so many conferences, among the developing countries, among the African countries, I see great respect for our constitution. And I see great respect for the judgments of our judiciary, including the Supreme Court. I think that is a very, very salutary evolution of our constitutional polity governed by our constitution. If these principles are kept in mind, I always say you have to see how the glass is there. Is it half full or full or not at all? I would say if on balance we see the journey of last 70 years, there is always an urge of the people of India that the glass of India's constitutional democracy shall always continue to get filled. That, I think, is the very salutary experience which I have noticed as an activist also. Kindly see the democratic part, the last part I would like to deal here. In the entire country, people of India know who they are and what they owe to themselves. A country of the size of India's 130 billion, where ordinary people know I can unseat any leader, however powerful, by my vote, is not an important achievement. Therefore, the trust of the founding father in the political wisdom of ordinary Indians, regardless of his caste, creed, religion, or income or education, has really shown great results. I've always felt these salutary aspects need to be retold, particularly for the young members of the bar, so that they carry on this legacy with greater commitment in the march of our constitutional polity. Thank you. My greetings to all of you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. I request